Hi everyone, today I'm talking about the 10 stocks for me that I'm watching. A few of them that I'm invested in, and I'll talk about them in a little bit of a change around from the 3 stocks that I'm buying video. There's been a few changes in my portfolio. And I'm going to go through a few reasons why I'd recommend to watch these 10 stocks and potentially look at buying a few of these stocks in the coming month of May. So first of all, from the 3 stocks I'm buying, we had Microsoft, Apple, and that was it. Oh, on Facebook. I have now sold my shares in Facebook, which I made a nice bit of profit on that. That was about $1,000 made on that one. And then I sold my Apple shares, which I took a little bit of a loss on. I think that was about a $500 loss on. The reason why I sold my Apple shares compared to when I was talking about Apple Q1, Q2 is basically I was reading a lot of articles about what's going on with Apple. And the sales do seem down by quite a bit. And year on year they're down by a lot. I think it was like 300 million that I saw, which is quite a lot to be down. It was nearly half the revenue that they made last year that they're down. And I thought that's going to take a big impact on the stock, even though I always say that stock news, once you know about it, that's already factored in the stock price and that won't change too much. But I think because there'll be a lot of articles coming out in the future about Apple, about how they're going to now change the business model, that I think it should take effect through Q1 and Q2, and I think I won't see the price in Apple gain too much until Q3, Q4. So I thought that's kind of like wasting like 4 or 5 months in a stock where nothing's going to happen, and I can use that money elsewhere. So that was my thinking behind it. By the time this video is actually up, I think Apple will have announced the Q1, so we'll know how that's been, and I'll probably do a video on that, to be honest with you. And I think I hope I made the right decision that to sell these stocks, and when it comes out, that I'm not thinking, oh crap, that's gone up like 10%. Why didn't I hold? But I just thought for the long term, over the next few months, I don't see that stock going up as that much because of the problems with the iPhone X. So I'll make a video on that. I'll make a video on the earnings when they've come out, and hopefully I made a bit of the right call on that one. But 10 stocks for me. The only ones that I'm invested in on this board are Microsoft and Adobe. I changed Adobe for Apple, that was my swap, and obviously Facebook's been sold now. So Microsoft, I'm holding Microsoft because it was a really good earnings. The beat was excellent on Microsoft. Like I say, Microsoft's a hold all year for me. Really undervalued stock, great dividend as well. So Microsoft is definitely going to be a long-term hold for me. At least to the end of the year. Adobe, as you know, I've talked about Adobe a lot over like the last half a year, and eventually I sold my shares at 220. Now, Adobe did a really good earnings. Adobe went up to 230, and then it's gone back down to 220. I did say that if it went to 210, I'd probably buy an Adobe, but at 220, I was quite happy to get back into that stock. My plan is to hold that about to 240-ish, which I think would be towards probably October. I think a good earnings report will push that up before then, but we'll see what happens. Like I say, don't gamble on the earnings report, but I think Adobe will reach 240 by the end of the year, at least probably by the end of probably Q3. I expect it to be about there-ish. I'd be by summer. I think I might be out of that one. We'll see what happens. But two companies that I love, and I love to just hold them. I've got quite a big decent size in them, and I just don't have the money to get loads more of these stocks invested in right now. But yeah, I'll go through them all. So number 3, Alibaba. I think this is massively undervalued. I've kind of got 2 technology stocks, and obviously Alibaba being an online shop, it's got other areas as well. It's a really good company. I do think that's undervalued right now. I think that's sitting around the 180-ish. That certainly could go to 210 by the end of the year, probably before then. So Alibaba is definitely a stock I'd recommend. The only problem to be careful of that is that it's a Chinese stock. Boeing was down at like the 310s, I think. That's going to get to 380 at some point-ish. Boeing's a really good stock to get invested in. It's just had a lot of problems with the trade wars at the moment. I don't know if you've seen the guidance that Boeing have put out for the rest of the year, but it's absolutely insane. It's like double nearly every month. So Boeing is a really good stock to get in. I'd like, if I had the money, I don't right now because of the story that I told the other day on the other video, But if I had some spare money, I would try and pick up these two as my main stocks, and then I'm going to try and pick up somewhere on this list, maybe just 2 or 3 little positions in them. But these two would definitely be 2 that I could consider, especially this one after the forecast that it's put out for the rest of the year. They're insane, and normally Boeing tends to beat the forecast as well, which is exceptional. The PE is decent on that as well because of the price that it's at. PayPal, I've always said that had a big massive sell-off because of the eBay situation, which was really oversold in my opinion, just because of that it's only 10% of its revenue or something like that, and the forecast that PayPal have out definitely show that it can survive on its own and it can do better without eBay. So PayPal is definitely one of my strong favourites on this list. If I had the money, I'd more than likely be in that stock, put it that way. 6, I couldn't fit because I've had to write all small to get all 10 in. But number 6, STZ or Constellation Brands, good earnings report from them, a really good company, good dividend. Should it raise it a little bit more as well. Being in the like Canopy Growth and owning 20% of them interests me quite a bit, and just because of the sales of beer being really strong and alcohol drinks as well. We've got a World Cup year, so the next earning reports could be decent as well. Yeah, Constellation Brands, one of my favourite. I tried to put a bit of variety in here as well. Obviously you know that I favour tech stocks quite a bit, but Constellation Brands is definitely one of the other stocks out of the tech sector that I do really like. Number 7, I've just put the big 3 down, being that obviously Apple, Google and Amazon. I could have put Netflix in here, but at the moment I think Netflix is a bit overvalued. Same with Nvidia, it's a little bit overvalued. I'd go over Nvidia over Netflix right now, in my opinion. But the big 3, Amazon I would invest in, but it's a lot of money to invest in. Google, I'd prefer Amazon, but Google's still a pretty good company to be investing in because of the YouTube growth. I'm a big fan of the YouTube growth in that company, and obviously the advertisements as well with the Google search engine. Them 2 over Apple for now. Apple is one of those stocks, like I said, I'll just hold off for the first quarter and second quarter until I touch that one again. Number 8, I could have put either one in, Visa and MasterCard. Visa and MasterCard did really good earnings, both of them. MasterCard, I might favour over Visa now. I've always said that I've favoured Visa over MasterCard. There's not much between them, but I think I'd slightly push towards MasterCard instead of Visa now. Number 9, I think this stock is one that I would hold off on, but it's still a stock that I watch quite often, just because I think no one knows what's going on with the management right now of Wynn Resorts. But it's definitely a bit undervalued at the moment, so Wynn is definitely a stock that at some point it could be a one to get into. And number 10, one of my big stocks from last year, Ferrari or Race, slightly getting undervalued now. I said that the forecasts weren't great from what they were going to do. It didn't have a good forecast that I liked, but because the stock's kind of stagnant for like so long now, the stock is actually coming a bit undervalued where it should be at, and that stock's sitting about 121, and that stock's worth about 135ish. So that's one that I'm slightly, maybe not for May, but June would be potentially that could sneak up this list for the stocks that I could be purchasing. There's a lot of stocks that I could have put in here. It's just hard to research and know the ins and outs of so many stocks, especially when you've got a full-time job and you're doing this, and also like I'm doing like the property redevelopment as well on the side of that. To manage so many stocks, it's really hard to. So if there's any stocks that you feel like should be on this list, let me know. There's a few stocks that came really close to being on this list, but I think that these are the top 10 stocks that just kind of really nicked it for me. I could easily just do another 5, but I just tried to make it nice and simple really. Some really good stocks, like I say, 2 good stocks. These 3 would be my favourite, and this one just behind it, and there's not one of them I won't touch right now. One of them I would. Visa and MasterCard's both good stocks, so I would be tempted to get in both of them. And these 2 are just kind of like just tickling behind where there could be a chance where they get in at some point and move up the list. One stock that I think has been oversold, it's not a great, in my opinion, it's not a great stock, and this one's better to get into it, is eBay. eBay had a massive sell-off. That stock's valued at probably a decent value would be $47 per share, and I think it's dropped all the way down to like 35 or something right now. So potentially eBay could be one that sneaks into my portfolio, even though it's not on this list. But yeah, I think there's a few decent stocks out there at the moment, very undervalued because of everything that's gone on so far this year. Guys, give the video a like, let me know if there's any stocks that you think I should be putting on this list, and I'll see you on the next video.